Well, you knew this video was coming. On this side, we have the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And on this side, we have the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Now, this is not a direct comparison between these two cameras. And I don't want to sound like a direct comparison between these two cameras. I just want to share some of my thoughts and feelings and what my experience has been switching between these two devices. But I want you guys to go ahead and check out this moon behind me. Now, on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, we can zoom, but it's still using the main sensor. On the S20 FE, we can switch to the stabilized 3x camera and back to the ultra wide. Now, cameras are not necessarily something I want to compare in today's video, but I do want to talk about 3 things that I hated on my Redmi Note 10 Pro and 3 things that I hate currently on my S20 FE. Now, first, let's go to the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And honestly, guys, the first thing that I hated about this device, the reality of it, the performance. Now, for casual day-to-day stuff, I think it's totally fine. Even for some light video editing, I think it's totally fine. But trying to do TikToks, trying to edit videos on the device, not even gaming, the Redmi Note 10 Pro would constantly overheat. Trying to live stream on TikTok outside 30 degrees C ambient, Redmi Note 10 Pro would go down to like 8-10 frames a second live stream, and just not acceptable for someone like myself that's trying to create video content. Now, the first thing I hate about the S20 FE, that's pretty simple too. It's Bixby. Now, one thing that we all want to, by the way, how's this audio right now? I'm trying to give you guys some shifting light. I'm trying to hold these both as evenly as possible. The fact that Xiaomi, for their international devices, uses Google Assistant versus Xiao AI, I wish that Samsung would do that also. I don't give a fuck about Bixby, Bixby routines, Bixby this, Bixby that. I hate it. Okay, I've had to debloat it. I wish that there was a way that I could flash a oneui custom ROM on the device, because the oneui ROM is pretty freaking great. Okay. Second thing I hate about the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and again, this is not a direct comparison. These two devices are of different price points. If there are things that are mutually shared among the Redmi Note 10 Pro and other Xiaomi devices, I will mention that. The second thing that I absolutely hate about the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and this is something that I've talked about for a while, is the charging and the charging tech. Now, specifically, if the only charger that you have available to you is the 33-watt charger, you live in a hot environment, that 33-watt charger is going to end up thermal throttling itself, and that means that it's not going to charge the device that quickly. On top of that, your performance of the device is also going to be limited, severely limited, and just kind of in general, having your battery get so hot that it thermally throttles how fast it charges is never a good thing. I've tried to use my 18-watt charger outside 30 degrees C ambient temperatures while using TikTok, not even streaming on TikTok, and I'll get maybe 1% battery charge with an 18-watt quick charger every like 5 to 6 minutes. Now, Samsung, on the other hand, they have their adaptive fast charging, but it also allows you to disable fast charging in settings. So if you live in a hot climate, you can disable that. And that's just a software thing for Samsung. The Xiaomi 33-watt, it's really no more advanced than the 27-watt we had in the past. And that charging tech is now 2 years old. And again, Xiaomi uses the thermal limitation throttling kind of parameters to limit their device's charge speed. The second thing that I hate about the S20 FE, and I think you guys are gonna find this a little bit interesting, is that I'm not that crazy about the overall like in-display fingerprint scanner. Like after using the Redmi Note 10 Pro, Redmi Note 10 Pro had a fantastic side-mounted fingerprint scanner, almost too fast. Going back to the in-display one, I much would have rather had Samsung either put it on the back or on the side and even shave more money off the cost of it. But in-display, not a big fan of that. The third and final thing that I hate on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and this is going to be one that a lot of you guys probably aren't going to like, and that is the instability of MIUI at 120 hertz. Now, using the Redmi Note 10 Pro 120 hertz, honestly, using it at the high refresh rate, you could see all of the stutters, all of the drop frames, and Xiaomi's strategy for the way their icons move in and out, or the way their apps move in and out of the icons when you open and close them. If you're using the Xiaomi launcher and there's two instances of that app icon on your app screen, then there's this weird stutter, and it's something that happens every time, which is just fucking stupid. Third and final thing that I don't like about the S20 FE, that I don't like about it, and that is, unfortunately, the lack of Google Assistant integration. Now, I really, really wish that Samsung would just ditch Bixby at this point. I know I said that Bixby was a thing I don't like, but if I could disable that, that would be one thing. But I would much rather have my Google feed on my home screen. I can't do that on the current model of the S20 FE that I have. There's no officially supported way to unlock the bootloader, at least on the model that I have, even though it's a SIM unlocked version, or the model has been SIM unlocked. And I wish that I could unlock the bootloader so I could just put a stock non-American carrier-specific custom ROM on my S20 FE. But other than that, the S20 FE has blown away every other Xiaomi device that I've ever used in regards to just making the overall experience feel more premium. I mean, little stuff like the battery charging selector, having night mode on all of the cameras. The fuck, Xiaomi? Like, I have Gcam on my S20 FE, and that's amazing. Like, the screen, it might not be the Samsung E3 panel that we have on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, but it's still a really good panel, still bright enough. I wish I had 90 hertz, right? Because I'm not really a 120 hertz fan. But other than that, I wanted to give you guys a little update on how the Switch is going. I've been busy this week actually working. I was on a TV show because they want foreigners that speak Vietnamese. So we're going to wrap this one up. Peace.